Grid editor in Q1 we have Ricky. In Q2 we have Centrix. In Q3 we have Godzilla. In Q4 we have Adobo. In Q5 we have Freddy. In Q6 we have Cthulhu. In Q7 we have Cactus. In Q8 we have Spared Fungus. In Q9 we have Flake Throne. In Q10 we have Tantrum. In Q11 we have Nudomatic. In Q12 we have Eric. And 13 we have Dasher. Confirm changes. Alright.
You ready?
We're good to go. Yep. Oh, my voice chat is disabled. It's almost like I don't give a shit.
Welcome, Ritzy. Ritzy has redeemed an emu moment, which, whatever that desync was, felt like an emu moment. Ritzy, I'm just gonna say free choice because I'm not even gonna police it that hard. So free choice attire. So for all the drivers listening, free choice attire. Oh, you okay, Ritzy? Soft, medium, medium. That's what you're going for, Ritzy. That's your strat. That's my favorite Hungary strat. Doesn't always work, but that's what you have to go for. I'm intrigued to see Ritzy do a soft, medium, medium around here. Because that's normally my go-to at Hungary, although maybe on this game it's a little different. I think maybe it might be like a soft, or it was a medium soft I tried, it didn't really work. This game is very one-stoppy. I remember on 21 it was always like a soft, medium, medium was the quickest way around here. You would not touch the hards on 21, but on this game I feel like most tracks are one-stops. I even did Qatar one-stop in a league race, which it's probably the most two-stoppy race, but I still did a one-stop there. Ritzy, you say this is your best track, so no matter how bad the strategy is, even if you're doing a two-stop on hards, you should still win. Just tell the FAA, don't disqualify me, bruh, and you'll be good. But anyway, all the drivers should be readying up now, and hopefully we don't get our host disconnecting like we had earlier, and hopefully everyone should get away well. Have no desync. We can only pray to the EA overlords that they do not smite down us humble peasants. Anyway. All the drivers should be Ready up. Ritzy's redeemed the Sandwich Appreciation Society, which... Yeah, the driver should be going any moment now. And we'll be hopefully having 35 laps around Hungary, hoping the desync is not horrific again. But here we are. The lights are on. 5 lights on. Who will get away well here? And they're out. Who can move away from the line well? It seems everyone's gotten away here. Ritzy's gotten a good start on the outside, but Centric's looking on the inside again. Centric's on the inside. We've got a 3 wide in behind of the McLaren, Alpine and Ferrari. Call's going to come out on top here. Meanwhile, at the back, oh my word! Cthulhu almost going into the back of Dobo. Somehow no contact was made, and the Alfa Romeo's completely gone. An absolute smash at the back. Wow. Utter carnage at the back. VSC was definitely needed there. Pneumatics picked up an in-game pen, which is actually rare to get. But we've seen Wed thrown there go completely off track, spun back across the circuit. Wed's thrown for sure has damage there. Is going to need to pick up a new front wing. But under this VSC, we've seen a couple incidents there at the back. But Ritzy got away well. We're going to have a look at the tyres that everyone's gone for. Ritzy and Centrix both on the softs. You love to see it. Godzilla on the mediums. Tactics, Tantrum, both in the hards. A great start for Tantrum in his debut here into P9. Meanwhile, Dasher dropping back, I think. Interesting. I'm confused. But anyway, we've gotten away well here. We've gone back to green flag. And Centrix following along Ritzy as well. This will be interesting to see because we know Ritzy is going to do the 2-stop. But can Todd and Freddy and Dobo and Cthulhu on these mediums make the 1-stop work? We also have Tactics doing the alternate strategy. Welcome to the stream, Lou. We're here for 35 laps at Hungary, and a bit of carnage early on. Wed from Spared Fungus, both had damage. Have pit for fresh tires. Meanwhile, Freddy on the back of Godzilla here. Meanwhile, Pneumatic battling with his brother Tantrum, and Pneumatic gets through. Tantrum now trying to find a way back through on his brother. Tantrum starting on the hards, doing an alternate strategy here. Ritzy sets the fastest lap here as he's trying to gap Centrix. Meanwhile, Freddy on the inside of Godzilla. Freddy and the Ferrari's going to send it on the inside here. Godzilla around the outside. Who will get ahead here? It seems Freddy has got ahead. That camera angle is just so late. We've missed the battle. Godzilla now unable to get back through on Godzilla. Godzilla having a concede the place to Freddy. But Freddy now 2.7 off Centrix ahead. Centrix trying everything he can to stay with Ritzy, but can Ritzy pull out of the DRS? The DRS will be enabled this lap. So Centrix has got to do everything he can to stay within the DRS, but it seems Ritzy's already dropped the hammer. And even though Centrix is a very fast driver, it seems Ritzy is on another level. Meanwhile, Dasher now has gotten past Tactics. Oh no, Tactics is desyncing massively. Oh my word. Okay, Tactics is extremely desynced here. Oh my lordy lord. This is some of the most desynced I've seen Anyway, Cthulhu now on the back of Dobo. Dobo got a podium last time out in Baku. Cthulhu now on the inside. Can Cthulhu get the move? Pulls back a bit. Dobo breaks later. And Dobo is going to keep that position, surely. Into turn 1. Dobo has the DRS off Codzilla ahead. Meanwhile, Codzilla trying to stay within the DRS of Freddy, but Freddy looks quick here in Hungary. But also key in the race here, Ritzy dropping Centrix. It'll be interesting to see how quick Centrix and Ritzy can be on that strategy. Will they both go for the soft, medium, medium? Will Centrix try and go a soft, hard or something to spice it up a little? We'll see. Meanwhile, Freddy could be doing medium, hard here. But we also do have to keep an eye on Tactics, who's going to be doing a hard medium as well. Who's inside the DRS of the cars ahead. It's interesting also see the two brothers battling here between Tantrum and Pneumatic. You love to see brothers battle. And in SSR, oh, Pneumatic loses the rear end. Tantrum may have had a little touch of the rear of Pneumatic, but in SSR we had many driver and sons pairings. We had AJ and B Mars, we had Dubsy and Brazy, and we've had a couple brother parents. We had Pneumatic and Naka Kraka, and we also now have Tantrum, the third brother in the trio. Tantrum now into P9 leads his brother Pneumatic, and Tantrum on these hard tires, maybe on a very quick strategy here. Well, on the reverse strategy, that is. But meanwhile, Dobo seems to have fallen out of the DRS of Codzilla, and Cthulhu will have the DRS on Dobo. But can Cthulhu stay with Dobo? Tactics here, having a good race, staying with the drivers ahead. Cthulhu going off, but I don't believe he gets a warning there if he... oh, and we're getting some desync. But I believe Cthulhu still within the look at all that desync, wow. Cthulhu still within the DRS of Dobo, may get an opportunity to make a move here. Dobo now 1.7 out. Meanwhile, Dashers come in early off the off the softs, and Dashers retired, calling it a day early on here. And oh my word, it is so scary watching Tactics car because it is so badly desynced. But we're at that point in the race where I don't believe we're gonna have any restarts. We're kind of too deep in already. But I believe it's only Tactics car that's really desynced at the moment. I believe everyone else can see each other on track. But Ritzy now almost 2 seconds ahead of Centrix, and Wedthrow now looking to get past the desync Dasher. But Cthulhu now still within the DRS of Dobo, but does have Tactics for company. And Tactics still following along. We've Pneumatic in the Haas here. Both Haas brothers fighting along here. And Pneumatic sees his brother go a little wide, trying to find a way through. Meanwhile, Tactics on the outside now of Cthulhu gets through into P6. Tactics now with the additional dose of DRS is going to look to catch the Dobo as well. And Tactics could be on a very good reverse strategy here, doing a hard medium. Could have very good pace at the end when all the drivers may be switching to hards. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. Meanwhile, Ritzy extends his gap to 2.7, 2.8 in the lead on those soft tires. I wonder when he's going to switch to mediums. It will be soon to do soft, medium, medium. And I wonder, does Centrix go for the same strategy, or does Centrix try a soft, hard, or even a soft, medium, which I think is possible, but maybe not the quickest. But if you can protect the tyres, it could be a good strategy. But meanwhile, the battle we have now is Wed thrown on the back of Eric. Wed thrown in the Alfa Romeo, trying to get the traction to get past the Aston Martin, and Wed thrown may send it here into the chicane. Once side by side they go, Eric has to concede the position, and Wed thrown gets through into P10. Good move from Wed thrown. Meanwhile, Tantrum now has dropped his brother Pneumatic, so very good to see the pace of Tantrum. He is so far quicker than his brother, so he's winning those bragging rights. But these two have been battling very nicely along. Meanwhile, we have Tactics now within that 1 second gap he needs to Dobo here on lap 8. Meanwhile, Ritzy now 4.1 in the lead. I wonder when Ritzy will come in off the softs onto the mediums. We did have an early VSC, but we do not have... we may have safety cars, which could benefit several drivers. Currently, a safety car would not benefit Tactics, but we did see him go off there, lose some time, trying to catch within the DRS of Dobo. And Cthulhu has fallen massively off this pack. Ritzy comes in early off the softs. I was thinking it would be around lap 7 that he would come in, but Ritzy in now, 4 medium tyres. Centrix will take net P1 here. And I wonder, does Centrix go for a soft medium, a soft hard, or even copy Ritzy with a soft medium medium, or even a soft medium soft? Multiple ways Centrix can go here, but Ritzy, I do believe, is going to do a soft medium medium. So we will see how quick Ritzy can be on that strategy. Ritzy exits in P7 with a 36-second gap to Tantrum. Or, well, now that's come down to 23. No, it's come down to... Let's see here as he enters turn 1. Around 15 seconds. But Ritzy now on the back of Cthulhu. And Ritzy's going to be rapid on these much fresher tyres. Can he find a way through on Cthulhu? Owen Cthulhu on the grass a little bit. Ritzy trying to find a way through. Owen Cthulhu almost loses the rear. This is going to lose Ritzy time. He's on these fresher tyres, but Cthulhu struggling here, but Ritzy surely going to send it ahead of Cthulhu. And Ritzy on these much fresher tyres is going to get through. Not much Cthulhu could do in terms of defence, but Cthulhu is going to get some DRS off Ritzy down the main straight, which is going to help him. Meanwhile, Centrix does come in off those soft tyres, maybe going for the similar strategy of a soft medium medium, or could be doing a soft medium soft. We will see. But Ritzy now gets ahead of Centrix. Meanwhile, Centrix is going to drop behind Cthulhu into P7, and Tactics now still struggling to get within the DRS of Dobo. Dobo doing well enough to keep him behind, keep him at bay. Meanwhile, Freddy now is in a net P1, and it'll be interesting to see, is a medium hard quicker than a soft medium medium, or even a soft medium soft, depending on what Centrix decides to do. I wonder if Centrix is just trying to copy Ritzy to test his pace. Meanwhile, Tantrum picks up another time penalty. Only the Haas brothers, only drivers yet to pick up time penalties. Meanwhile, Wed thrown, maybe a bit of a commentator's curse, picks up a time penalty as he's starting to catch Pneumatic, who's now 4 seconds back from Tantrum. And Wed thrown now. And Cthulhu has picked up a time penalty, so I think I've spoken too early. All the time penalties piling in now that I've mentioned it, but now we have Wed thrown on the back of Pneumatic. And Wed thrown, who had an earlier incident. Meanwhile, Ritzy gets Tactics here. I don't know where. Oh, Wed thrown almost runs into the back of Pneumatic. Has to completely stamp on the brakes. Oh, he's going to do it again, and he's gone into the back of Pneumatic. Pneumatic really struggling here for grip, it seems. I don't believe that was malicious. I just believe Pneumatic really struggling for grip mid-corner. We'll have to see that again. Meanwhile, Centrix now on the inside of Cthulhu. This may be risky. Backs out of that move. Thinks better of going for a move there. Meanwhile, Ritzy's gotten Dobo in the middle sector. Centrix now on the inside of Cthulhu, or on the outside of Cthulhu. Gonna look for the switchback in the chicane. Cthulhu defending here. Centrix looking for a way through. Can he get it? Desync a little bit. Meanwhile, Centrix trying to find a way through on Cthulhu. Is he going to send it in to the right-hander here? Does send it. Oh, massive desync. He gets the move done, but we didn't really see much of it. Anyway, Ritzy now almost within a second of Codzilla in P3. So this soft medium is looking very fast for Ritzy, because I believe Ritzy will surely get onto his next medium stint before the drivers around him get onto even their hard stint. So I believe Ritzy's going to run away with this win comfortably. Ritzy on the inside now of Codzilla, just blows by. Codzilla has to concede the position, but Ritzy gets a time penalty. So if there's a late safety car, that could affect him, but Ritzy has such pace here, I believe he will get into the lead, and he'll be putting onto better tyres than the likes of Freddy and Codzilla and Dobo. Meanwhile, Tactics, who's now within the second that he needs of Dobo, will be in a battle with Centrix here, because Centrix needs to catch Tactics, get ahead. Oh no! Tactics has lost the rear. Never mind. The desync is incredible. I've never seen desync like it. He had completely bent it into the wall, and then it just chops back to, oh, he's fine. Hilarious. Hilarious. I've never seen desync like that. But Tactics now, within the second, has DRS of Dobo. Meanwhile, Cthulhu comes in off the mediums for the hard tyres. I believe Cthulhu might even exit ahead of Tantrum, so we'll need to keep an eye on that. Meanwhile, Tactics on the back of Dobo. Meanwhile, Freddy gets into the lead so quickly, I didn't even see that happen. Past Freddy, and Ritzy will be on the better tyres and going on to the mediums. So this is surely Ritzy's race to lose now. Only a safety car could really affect Ritzy at this stage. Meanwhile, Centrix now 1.6 behind Tactics. Meanwhile, Cthulhu's gone for the soft, so maybe Cthulhu going for a medium soft medium or a medium soft soft, but Cthulhu going for a very interesting strategy here that I've not seen before. Meanwhile, Wed Throne within a second of Tantrum, looking for the way past Tantrum as Tantrum goes a little bit defensive into the chicane. Wed Throne looking for the traction to get ahead of Tantrum, but nothing doing there. Can Wed Throne get the switch back on Tantrum? It seems he has. Oh my god, the desync is horrific. Oh my word. Meanwhile, Tactics and Dobo go side by side, and also they have Centrix in this battle as well. Centrix round the outside of Dobo. Both Dobo losing out to both drivers here. Meanwhile, oh my word. Never mind. Tactics is still ahead. The desync is pretty horrific. This is going to be scary for Centrix to make the move, because he has no idea where Tactics is. We're going to stay on board with Centrix, but does he even know where Tactics is on track? Oh my word! Did he make the move? I don't even know. What? He's still there? I don't even know. Tactics is gone? There, never mind, he's P5, oh my word. I don't even know. I've never seen desync like this. But I believe Centrix has got through. Meanwhile, Dobo's 1.4 back. And Dobo's going to come in for the hard tyres. Gonna keep an eye on Cthulhu, who's gone for the softs, which is an interesting strategy, but Cthulhu now will be rapid on these softs, surely. And Cthulhu is definitely going for the 2-stop, along with Ritzy and potentially Centrix. And Dobo's also gone for softs, so Cthulhu not the only driver, but Cthulhu loses it out of the final corner. And that's going to be a safety car. And Wed Throne is surely going to come in here, but can't we even see Cthulhu's car round the final corner? I don't believe we're going to see it. Tantrum comes in for the safety car, but Cthulhu loses it out of the final corner. And Tantrum gets a speeding in the pit lane penalty. And we do not see... we do not see what happened to Cthulhu there, but Cthulhu out of this race. And the safety car, I believe. This is massively going to benefit the likes of Freddy and Godzilla, who are surely going to go on straight on hards to the end here. Meanwhile, Tactics, it's kind of poor timing. I think he can stretch the mediums, but might not be ideal to go 20 laps on the mediums, but the safety car will definitely help stretch them. But interesting to see. Meanwhile, Centrix coming into the pit. Everyone pitting now. Ritzy's gone for hards. Ritzy, I can't believe you betrayed my trust. Gone for soft, medium, hard instead of soft, medium, medium. Unbelievable. But all the drivers now on to medium. Centrix also on to hards. Tactics now was held, I think. The Tactics on for Sauce. Meanwhile, Dobo is going to exit behind Tactics. Dobo on Sauce, Wed Throne on hards, Wed Throne off track. Meanwhile, Tantrum and Spared Fungus on the mediums. Pneumatic on soft tires. Tantrum, if you're listening, you could serve one of those time penalties in the pit lane, and you wouldn't lose much time because Spared Fungus, there's such a gap to Spared Fungus behind, but I believe Tantrum is going to stay out, ensure that he does not lose track position. But interesting to see Eric now. Where's Eric? Eric's unfortunately been lapped, stuck behind the safety car. So unfortunate for Eric. But that's essentially his race over, because Cody's does not allow you to unlap yourself, hilariously enough. But Eric now going to come off track and let all the cars behind through, which is nice of Eric to do because he doesn't have to, but he's just letting all the cars through, which is very sportsmanlike of Eric. Meanwhile, we'll have a look again at the tyres. Ritzy's got a 3 second, Wed Throne's got a 3 second, Pneumatic's got a 6 second, and Tantrum with 11 seconds so far. Only 2 of them are track limits for Tantrum and Pneumatic, but they both have got a speeding in the pit lane penalty, but Pneumatic did get a chance to serve that speeding in the pit lane penalty, but whereas Tantrum has not got the opportunity to serve his. But Ritzy, Freddy, Godzilla, Centrix, all on the hards to the end. Meanwhile, Eric's retired from the session, which is understandable. Whenever you're lapped on this game, it is essentially game over, unfortunately. But Eric did the correct thing, pulling it in the pits and retiring in the pit lane. Meanwhile, Ritzy will lead us away, followed by Freddy, followed by Godzilla, followed by Centrix. So this is going to be a very fast top 4 to the end, but an even faster 5 and 6 with Tactics and Dobo on the soft tires. They are definitely going to cause some chaos underneath this restart, because all the drivers in the top 4 are going to be looking to go to the end. Meanwhile, Tactics and Dobo surely got another stop in them, so going to be very interesting to see. Meanwhile, Wed Throne on the hard tires to the end. Tantrum and Spared Fungus may be a bit of a stretch to go on to the hards. Meanwhile, Pneumatic at the back. Meanwhile, Tactics is... and Dobo switching positions. I think that's just some more desync that may have caused that jumble up. The safety car is going to be in this lap. As all the field are now caught up, Ritzy we will go on board with. And we're going to turn the tyre graphic off for this restart. Meanwhile, Ritzy is going to get us underway under the safety car restart. We have 18 laps remaining under this restart. Ritzy leading us away, followed by the Ferrari of Freddy, and Freddy almost pushing Ritzy through the corner. Freddy wants this win off Ritzy, and Ritzy's going to go, and under the restart, who can get what? We've got a massive into turn one battle here. Centrix on the inside of Codzilla. Codzilla had a little bit of contact from the rear. Dobo gets into P4. Meanwhile, Tactics now on the outside of Codzilla. Oh, Codzilla, a bit of contact between Tactics as well. And Pneumatic's going around. And so is Spared Fungus. But now on the inside is Tantrum on Codzilla. Codzilla dropping back, and Tantrum into the wall. Tantrum unfortunately has contact with Codzilla. Codzilla's had a nightmare of a restart. Meanwhile, Wed Throne sending on the inside of Codzilla, has to back out there. But a bit of a nightmare of a restart for Codzilla. Meanwhile, Dobu, an ideal restart, gets 2 positions there. And Spared Fungus unfortunately having his own nightmare of a restart. Meanwhile, Freddy now being dropped by Ritzy as Centrix got into P3, trying to find a way past Freddy in order to catch up to the back of Ritzy, but Ritzy has that time penalty, which may be key in this battle, as Dobo on these soft tires is surely going to want to use them, get ahead of the drivers ahead of Centrix now on the outside of Freddy. Freddy covers off the inside, and Tactics sends it on the inside of Dobo as Dobo goes very deep, and Dobo looks for a way back through, and Dobo's going to get the position. Meanwhile, no, never mind, more desync from Tactics. Anyway, Centrix unable to get past Freddy, as Freddy is being dropped by Ritzy, who's surely going to disappear off into the distance. Tantrum and Spared Fungus in now for damage. Spared Fungus is retired from the session, and Tantrum's going to be fixing that front wing. Meanwhile, we've got Centrix following along. Freddy here. In this race. But Tactics and Dobo, interesting to see, because they're both on soft tires. They'll want to clear these hard runners so that they can use that pace and then switch on to another set of fresh softs. These softs will not go to the end, I am positive. Meanwhile, Dobo now looking on the back of Tactics, goes a little deep into turn one again, looking to get the traction. The DRS will be enabled this lap, but will not be actually usable on this lap, as the detection point is before the final corner. Centrix now following along Freddy, and Tactics and Dobo will be looking to find a way through this battle, but in this DRS train they are trapped. In this race, Ritzy almost has the 3-second margin he needs already. Wed Throne now picked up another time penalty, so an unfortunate evening for Wed Throne. Meanwhile, Centrix follows along. Freddy will have the DRS this lap. Centrix followed along by Tactics and Dobo, and Meanwhile, Citrix on the outside of Freddy goes a little deep, and that's going to allow Tactics through. And Tactics has got the ideal scenario here where Citrix loses out. And Tactics on the sauce now, through into P3. Tactics now needs to find a way through on Freddy to put the pace he has on these soft tires. Is that him really going off, or is that desync? Nope, desync. Of course it's desync. Meanwhile, Dobo also needs to get through on Centrix here, but importantly, Freddy and Centrix will be going to the end in this train, so they are in less of a need to actually push on the tire. Meanwhile, Centrix, though, will probably want to get ahead of Freddy, because Centrix knows his current battle in this race is between him and Freddy. Meanwhile, Tactics and Dobo may be a battle for later on, but Tactics now is going to send it on the outside of Freddy. Freddy protects the inside. Tactics on the outside now. Going to try and find a way through. We'll have the DRS. ERS engaged now. Is he going to send it? Sends it on the inside of Freddy. Side by side they go. Who's going to get through here? Freddy keeps it ahead. And Tactics unable to get through here. Meanwhile, Centrix finding a way through, or looking for a way through. Freddy went off track there. I wonder, is that a track limits warning? Meanwhile, Dobo just being patient, watching this battle along. Dobo unable to find a way through, but meanwhile, Tactics still needs to get through Freddy, otherwise this soft stint will be absolutely ruined, because they will need to box again surely. Pneumatic picks up another time penalty. Meanwhile, Centrix looking for a way through on Tactics, unable to get close enough yet. Meanwhile, Tactics looking for a way through on Freddy. And Centrix now on the back of Tactics, looking for a way through, as Dobo's now falling off this pack of cars. And is Centrix going to send it in the middle sector? It could be risky, because Centrix's laggy car is quite unpredictable in this race. Meanwhile, Ritzy's now 6 seconds up the road, so it's going to be another comfortable win for Ritzy, it seems, as we currently are. Ooh, another bit of desync. Meanwhile, Centrix sends it round the outside of Tactics. Has he found a way through? Unable to really tell. But Tactics now 1.6 off Freddy, and Tactics can sense that his tyres have fell off the cliff. So Tactics now probably on mediums to the end here. Centrix now, unfortunately for his sake, 1.7 off Freddy. Centrix did not need that battle between him and Tactics. So Centrix has got a big job to do to catch up to Freddy again within the DRS. Meanwhile, Freddy in good position here for P2. Probably not going to get P1 at this rate, as Ritzy has a 7-second lead over the field. And Dobo now on these softs. I wonder, is Dobo going to look to extend to go on the softs? We will see what tyre has Tactics gone for. Tactics has gone for the mediums. I believe if Dobo stretches another 2 or 3 laps, he can make it to the softs. But will he want to do that? Will he lose too much time? as Tactics now on the mediums has got 10 seconds to wade through, is going to look to make up that time. But Dobo now, is he going to come in? Dobo's going to stay out, so I believe Dobo is going to go on to the softs, and Godzilla currently has no pens in this race. 1 of 5 in this race without pens. Godzilla's going to surely sense the move coming soon, as Dobo on those old softs. Meanwhile, Cod on these hards that will go to the end. Meanwhile, Cintrix almost within the second that he needs of Freddy here. And Godzilla also within the second he needs to Dobo. And Cintrix now falling off Freddy. Really unable to get within inside that second. It was 1.1 earlier in the lap. Now falling back a little bit. But can Cintrix catch Freddy? Because once he gets within the DRS, it will help him massively here. But Freddy still has good pace without DRS here. Meanwhile, Godzilla now on the back of Dobo. This may be a comfortable move for Godzilla, as Dobo yet to do his final stop in this race. And Godzilla now on the inside, gonna get a comfortable move surely on these hard tires. Meanwhile, Dobo probably gonna box this lap or the lap after onto softs, as Tactics sets the fastest lap, and Cintrix now importantly inside the second that he needs of Freddy. So Cintrix and Freddy now battling to the end for P2 here. Cintrix needs this in order to close up to the leaders in the championship. He will close to Godzilla, as if the race were to end in the current order, but he would lose time to Ritzy, who will have a monster lead over the field as it stands. But Cintrix now will be firmly within the DRS of Freddy. Can he find a way through on the Ferrari? Cintrix now on the inside. Freddy's going to cover off the inside. Cintrix looks for the outside, looking for the switchback here. He may get it. Freddy and Cintrix both struggling for traction. They're both battling here. Cintrix on the outside has the DRS. Freddy has the inside. Can Cintrix get the switchback here that he's looking for? We go on board with the Alfa Romeo. Freddy still doing well to defend here, and Freddy with a masterful defense as they head up the hill. Freddy stays ahead in the Ferrari. Lovely defensive driving from Freddy here. Once Cintrix loses the rear on that exit curb, he needs to just keep it composed to stay within the DRS, because that's the most important thing, is to stay within the DRS of Freddy, because he can still use his tyre at the end of the race. He does not want to use too much tyre too early on, which could allow Freddy to disappear in this race. Meanwhile, Godzilla, 3 seconds behind this battle, will surely look, or will surely be wanting these two to be battling each other. Oh, and Cintrix has picked up a time penalty. That will be very vital for this race. Vital for Freddy. Freddy is going to be in prime possession to get P2 here. Meanwhile, Tactics has now gotten wed thrown. So Tactics on these medium tyres has gotten into P5 and will have good pace here till the end. Meanwhile, Dobu on the soft tyres, 7 seconds back from wed thrown. We'll keep an eye. Did Dobu or Tactics have the better strategy going onto the mediums early, or is Dobo going to have immense pace on these softs? We will have to keep an eye. Meanwhile, Centrix has that time penalty, so will surely look to get past Freddy and try and disappear more than 3 seconds up the road. But an intense battle here for the win. Meanwhile, Ritzy comes in for softs to the end, which will give Freddy a net P1. But Ritzy will surely be rapid on those softs. Was 12 seconds up the road before his pit stop. He may exit ahead of Coldzilla, maybe behind Coldzilla. We'll keep an eye. I think Coldzilla's going to be ahead, and maybe the Haas as well of Tantrum. But Coldzilla now into P3. Ritzy exits on the soft tires. Is going to look to use those soft tires, but importantly has that time penalty. Dobo sets the fastest lap and closed up massively to Wed Throne in this lap. So the softs could be very rapid around here at this stage. Dobo, I believe, closed over 3 seconds to Wed Throne in that lap. Meanwhile, Tactics has pulled more than 3 seconds, now 4 seconds on Wed Throne. So Wed Throne on these hard tires starting to struggle now, as Dobo on these softs closing up massively, and Ritzy now within the DRS of Coldzilla. Ritzy surely going to get the move here soon. Much more pace than these hard tires. And Ritzy now into the right-hander. Much later on the brakes. Has the extra grip that he needs to get by Coldzilla. Meanwhile, Ritzy already outside the DRS of Coldzilla. Does Coldzilla have the DRS here? He does, which will help him, because Coldzilla needs to catch the battle of Centrix and Freddy ahead with 5 laps remaining in this race. Meanwhile, Dobo gets Wed Throne. Wed Throne knew he was going to lose a position there, so Wed Throne coming in for the softs to get the fastest lap, which was a smart play. But the DRS there would have helped Coldzilla, because Coldzilla needs to catch within the 3 seconds of Centrix. Meanwhile, Ritzy almost within the 3 seconds, or almost within a second of Centrix ahead. And Centrix, or Ritzy, may get Centrix and Freddy here very, very soon. Almost pushing Centrix through the corner. Ritzy has unbelievable pace on these soft tires. Is going to look for a way through on the inside of Centrix, and Centrix is going to have really no answer as Ritzy breaks much later into the corner. Ritzy is going to have the DRS down. Oh, big desync. Thought for a second there Ritzy had ran into the back of Freddy, but Ritzy's surely going to get through here on the back of Centrix. Can Centrix use the DRS to find a way through Freddy as well? We will see, but Centrix too far behind. Ritzy now into P1, just needs to pull a 3 second gap, which will surely be manageable for Ritzy on these fresh softs. Meanwhile, Freddy's bigger battle is Centrix behind. He needs to keep him behind for as long as possible, because Centrix has that time penalty. Meanwhile, Coldzilla is now 4 seconds behind, so Coldzilla needs to catch well over a second to be with inside that 3 seconds of Freddy. Ritzy now almost outside of the 3 seconds already. 2.7, 2.9, and is outside the 3 seconds in 2 sectors. That's how quick Ritzy is on those fresh softs. Already outside of the 3 seconds that he needs for that time penalty that he has. Meanwhile, Centrix still following Freddy along. Centrix is in good stead to have this podium. Meanwhile, though, he'll probably want the meanwhile, Wed Throne picks up a time penalty. Centrix will probably want to get by here to get P2, but as run lap 32 of 35, can Centrix find a way through on Freddie. Centrix now on the back of Freddie. And so far our only battle is between these two, between Ritzy and Centrix. And Lou, as you say, Ritzy is gapping real good, and Ritzy on those fresh softs is leaving Freddie and Centrix on old hards in the dust. Ritzy had the pace to use the hards onto the safety car restart to then switch on to softs, and is now 7 seconds in the lead. Meanwhile, Freddie and Centrix in P2 and P3 in the battle for P2, and Freddie, as we head onto the third last lap, Freddie is in prime position to get P2 here, as Freddie has P2 on track, and Centrix has that time penalty and is unable to get past Freddie. But we're still following the Ferrari and the Alfa Romeo along. This is going to be big for Freddie in the championship, because Freddie currently sits P8, and with this result will jump Nakakraka into P7. Will he jump Spared Fungus as well? He'll be around 3 points behind Spared Fungus and Scotland, who are P5 and P6. So Freddie, if he can get P2 here, can jump to P7 and be within touching distance of Scotland and Spared Fungus. He'll be 9 points behind GB, but it seems unassailable for him to catch P3 in the championship at this. But so far, let's say, leads us away, our championship leader, who will surely extend their gap